Montana.
Touchdown, Debo in the slot. This is my end zone. Give me everything you got. Defense, hit him with that Cosa Nostra. Quan Alexander, this dance, shake both sides. 49er Empire, 49er Empire. This is for the fan base, die hard, set by. Stand up, 4-9 to the heart. K.E. Paul Lord back in Candlestick Park.
Henry Ruggs is definitely the upgrade, and it's the upgrade that we need at this point. That's going to bring us, to a level where, when you got George Kittle and you got Debo, we got KB, we got Henry Ruggs, and, we'll throw in a little Trent Taylor here and there. We'll be able to cycle him and Debo out and just create so many, powerful plays that you're not going to know who to cover. And at the end of the day, there's no way to possibly cover all those guys.
Are you listening? Damn.
Ronbo Sports here, representing the Niner Empire Organization worldwide, from Australia, New Zealand, UK, France, Germany, Mexico, South America, all across the USA, West Coast, East Coast, Virginia. Hey, you know what I should? Bend, Oregon. Let me say hello to you. There's people that check in the chat and every day. I tell you, I want you to know how much I think and love you. Thank you, fam. Oh, did I mention Hawaii, my brother, and my Samoan brothers and sisters? How you doing? 49ers football, it just never ends. Because we're all over the planet. The British Empire, once upon a time, said the sun set, never sets. In the British Empire, you can say the same thing about the Niner Empire. Fam, as we approach the draft, all we're doing, everybody's got their own case now. The three names, right? Judy, Lamb, Ruggs. Not particularly in that order, because if I had my way, it'd be Ruggs first. But now, did you notice the name Kinlaw is picking up momentum? And I figured because the fact is they know there's no way that Derek Brown is going to be hanging around, see what I did there, anywhere near 13. So Kinlaw seems to be suddenly the guy the 49ers potentially think they could get their hands on. And for sure the 49ers are going to look to add another defensive lineman if for no other reason besides Buckner leaving leaves a hole in the rotation. Now, you're going to go out and get something extremely high quality to fill in for Buck? Something you maybe think you could equal with Buck? And you need to be worried about that because you never know what the 49ers will do, how far they'll go in order to make that happen. So Kinlaw's that guy right now that seems to be in the mix more than anybody else. They're not talking about defensive backs. They're not talking about safeties. There's no offensive lineman mentioned, but the fact remains that we got rid of Buckner. We got 13 back in return. Do you turn that water into wine? So I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't, but I have my suspicions that 13 is going to be used for a wide receiver. And here's the thing. Make no mistake. There's people running around thinking that this team is built on its defensive prowess. True enough. But if Kyle Shanahan gets the weaponry he needs, we're talking about one of the most incredible offensive minds in football. The way the team is building its reputation now is not really, yes and no. But you want Kyle Shanahan to assert himself as the offensive guru. That's why he came in the first place. That's why Jed went and got him. So we can motor up an offense that scares people. And this is why my choice for Henry Ruggs. I think Mrs. Ruggs' son would fit in well with what we do in San Francisco. And I will not budge from that. I'm scared, though, because the fact is, I say, Kinlaw is in the mix, man. There's no doubt about it. He really is. And whether the 49ers pursue him hot enough to go get him, or is there somebody down? Because Dre had his mock the other day was awesome. 49ers can go out and get down and get a guy like Blacklock in the rotation. It may not be quite the same as it was next year, but it'll still be pretty efficient and effective. We got monsters on that defensive line. One man is not going to cripple them. You know, I mean, that was the anchor of our defense. Okay, I like the term and everything, but I don't know that we're going to be so weakened without Bosa. I mean, we will definitely be weakened with Bosa out. No, Buckner, he did a great job for us, but what we need in that spot now is a lot of violence. And this could be Kinlaw. Can't believe I said that. Anyway, if he comes tumbling down into the 13th spot, for those of us who really want a wide receiver, we need to worry. Yeah, we do. They'll take Kinlaw, fam. I'm almost scared. There's no doubt in my mind. If he comes down with all three wide receivers, they will not hesitate to grab him. I hate the thought of that. But then again, there's this other option. The 49ers could do what they did in 1986. Bill Walsh, John McVay, they were number 18 overall in that draft. They had picks in the first 4 rounds. One only pick in each of the first 4 rounds. They didn't have a 5th round pick. You know what they did? They traded 4 times before they made one pick. And you know what? You know what that yielded that year, if you've been checking out history? You had guys like Rasmussen, John Taylor. I mean, Charles Hall of Fame, Haley in the 4th round. Fam, I trust these guys implicitly. If they do that, I'm going to just sit back. I'm going to be mad because I wanted Ruggs. You're going to be mad because you wanted Lamb or Judy. There are those who want Kinlaw. But what we need to know is what they've done so far is they've done enough to get us to the Super Bowl. That's all I need to know. Their pedigree is solid. Yeah, we'll have to trust it. Because one thing is for certain, fam. You just don't know what to expect. With John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, expect the unexpected. It can happen. MC.
Looking back to 2015, you are 2 of 5 predicting the 49ers first round draft picks.
I'm kind of proud of that, too.
Buckner and Bosa.
Yeah, I knew it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing special, dude.
Okay, well, I did know Solomon Thomas was not going to be a good idea.
You
so that's
don't know.
What?
Thomas may blow up this season. Support your players, Ronbo.
Wow.
Show bad attitude.
What?
I'm gone.
Fam, do I support my players? I do. There's a couple that I have things to say about, but that's out of love. I want those guys to improve. I want them to get better. You can't just sit quietly and not say anything. That means you have no love, no feeling, no passion for your players. MC. Oh, that was uncalled for. Hey, you know what? I want to ask you a few questions too, fam. Let's go get Ellis. I got Ellis. Let's go. Fam. What's up? I got Ellis. You know, Ellis calls into the program all the time. You know that name. And Ellis usually has a lot to say, and I always have to, Ellis, you got to go, fam. And because Ellis always got lots of football to talk. Ellis, now we can do this. Ellis, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Ronbo? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
It's my pleasure, man. Because Ellis, I've always wanted to know and not limit you so much to some things. And we got some things we want to talk about right now that we can get the Ellis flavor on. See,
yes, sir.
I'm still using that term, flavor. Ellis and I were talking about food, just a little pizza to be exact, just a few minutes ago. Let's get into football before I get into that. Ellis, you know, everybody knows Kyle Shanahan loves him some speed for what he does. He had Taylor Gabriel in Atlanta. They ranked as the 7th most productive offense of all time with that combination of speed. And now he comes over to San Francisco, and he goes and gets Marquis Goodwin. Now, that had to be for a reason. I think he likes speed. And actually, he had Travis Benjamin when he's back in Cleveland. So this is what is a part of a lot of people don't understand. People say, we need this guy, we need this guy, we need this guy. Yeah, y'all don't understand. We got that guy, that guy, that guy. The element that's missing is speed. So now, but here's the thing. People are saying to pick up, it may be too early in the draft to be picking up a guy like Henry Ruggs III because the value at 13 may be too high. Maybe, I guess they're suggesting if we picked him up at 18 or something like that, it'd be good. But we'll miss him on that. Is that overstated? Is he a reach at 13?
You know, I would say that from the looks of Henry Ruggs, he is the perfect 13 that we need at this point. You know, he's the icing on the cake. You know, he's the completion to our offense and what we so desperately needed. Clearly, without Marquis there being able to perform and Kyle not being able to utilize him, it seems as though that may be our new Marquis Goodwin, but a new and improved and more dynamic and agile and, you know, versatile version of Marquis Goodwin. But yeah, I don't think it's overrated. You know, I'm gonna be honest. You know, but it's
Ellis, like you're saying, a better version. The fact of the matter is, Henry Ruggs missed one pass last year. One. He had plenty of shots at him. Marquis, his ability to catch is not on that level. This is why when people compare the two, I say, yeah, I don't know, man. This kid's a lot different. But am I on point on that? What do you think?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I could say that I didn't appreciate too much about Marquis. There was a lot of dropped balls, and I mean, talk about being wide open, hitting you right in the breadbasket, as they say. I seen him drop a lot of passes, as we all have, and that's been one of the more frustrating things, is him being able to hold on to that ball. You know what I mean? And you know, complete his task. You know, he can get open. You know, he can get up the field, but it's the closing portion of it is being able to hold on to the ball and complete the play. You know what I mean?
I do know, and that's what I'm saying. You know, you add the dimensions that he brings. I don't know that you'd run Marquis Goodwin on a jet sweep. You can run Henry Ruggs on a jet sweep. I think his diversity is just extends beyond what Marquis Goodwin. I don't want to use Marquis Goodwin as a bad example because I love Marquis Goodwin. You know, but I'm just saying, as far as the speed goes, this is not anything less than an upgrade. I mean,
you said it. You said it right on point. I think that Henry Ruggs is definitely the upgrade, and it's the upgrade that we need at this point. That's going to bring us, you know, to a level where, you know, when you got George Kittle and you got Debo, you know, we got KB, you know, we got Henry Ruggs, and, you know, we'll throw in a little Trent Taylor here and there. We'll be able to cycle him and Debo out and just create so many, you know, powerful plays that you're not going to know who to cover. And at the end of the day, there's no way to possibly cover all those guys.
I know, I know.
It's not possible.
And it's like a puzzle put together too. If you get it, certain cars are gonna run with certain combinations of things in them, faster, faster, faster. This is what the Kyle Shanahan vehicle is all about. Here's the thing. In that Super Bowl, it hurts me to talk about it. Ellis, man, I'm still in pain. But man, I gotta tell you, you know who would have ran under that catch? Now, Jimmy G put that ball in the end zone because he was under pressure. People think he was out there just messing up. G was under such pressure, he didn't have time for that route to finish. He was putting it in anticipation where it should have been. He misanticipated, okay. But Henry Ruggs, Marquis Goodwin, Tyreek Hill, I mean, a lot of guys with that 4.2 speed would have made that catch. They would have caught up with that ball. And, I mean, is that something that we may have failed on because of the fact of the speed factor? Because E-Man Sanders is great. He's a lot of great things, but a lot of speed he's lost a little bit down through the years, and also due to that injury.
Yeah, you know, we can all agree that Marquis Goodwin would have definitely been wide open and in a position to catch the ball. Now, I hate to say this, but would he have caught the damn ball? He might have gotten there. He probably would have, undoubtedly. However, Marquis, would you have caught the ball, my brother, or would that moment of truth been too much for him? We don't know. I'm more almost reassured that had you know, E-Man been there, you know, and got to the spot, he would have caught the ball. Because he's one of those kind of players. That's one thing we can't give, you know, credence to. You know, however, you know, it's just one of those things, man. And definitely Henry Ruggs, I mean, that would have been easy money. You know what I mean? Clearly, he's only dropped what they say 2 passes his whole collegiate career.
Entire time at Bama, I'm not sure. I know last year was 1 drop, and I think he's only had 4 the entire time he's been at school. So,
man, come on.
Which one? That's juggernaut status, yes, you know. Sir. And this is why. And I love me some Jerry Jeudy. I think he's a fantastic ball player. He's gonna have a great career in the NFL. I don't think he accelerates our program. I like Lamb, but we got a guy like Lamb already. We don't need two Lambs. If that be the case, you can go out and get Laviska Shenault. I mean, that's if you're just looking for Debo lookalikes, but people are going to point out that Lamb's different. But make that comparison too. Why is Henry Ruggs the better choice between all three?
Well, he plays on the outside, and I was looking at some things in regards to him versus Jerry Jeudy, and what they were saying is that he's more effective because of what he's able to do on the outside, which is more difficult for a receiver to make big plays and do things at a high level versus being in the inside. You have a lot of room, in between the field to cross and go under and find little holes and different things like that. You can facilitate more off of the offense being on the inside, where Jerry Jeudy is more prominent at. And Henry Ruggs is able to do just as much, if not more, from the outside. And as we've all talked about, and we can see, he's basically been the guy that's been, double covered, and there's more attention being on him. So Jerry Jeudy and the other guy, Weddle, have been able to, benefit from that, from that attention that, Henry Ruggs is bringing on the outside, and obviously burning, the secondaries in the college atmosphere, on a regular.
See? And all he just did there for the Ruggs fans, it'll be all over us in the comments. You heard what he just said, right? That was the underlying value right there. What Ruggs does is make it possible for the entire offense to work. Not just one guy out there taking up all the spotlight and getting nothing done before himself. That could be Jerry Jeudy. And you can get mad at me about Jerry Jeudy. I don't think comments go, Ronbo, man, Jerry Jeudy is the next Jerry Rice. Well, that's a comment that eats me up. Jerry Jeudy is not the next Jerry Rice. So stop it, y'all. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, he's the first Jerry Jeudy. That's what we'll say. Well, let's give him that. At least. And I think Jerry Jeudy will want to be more of it in his own light and work into his own name and excellence, as a lot of other players. The comparisons are always cool, but there are players out there that want to be the greatest of themselves, the greatest version of themselves, and I feel like we should all be more engaged with that. Yeah, and one thing that I wanted to add, though, that the PFF athletic score, they have Henry Ruggs at a 98 percentile or percentage and stuff over Jerry Jeudy, which is, I believe, an 84, and then CeeDee Lamb is at an 80%. So, I mean, that's a drastic difference. And, they're saying he's like, that's a Tyreek Hill comparison when it comes to the 98 percentile, of the PFF athletic score for Henry Ruggs. So,
I like that.
It's the proof is in the pudding, man. You look at the tape, numbers don't lie. People do, so let's just be honest. Let's find the honesty, and let's live in that. You know what I mean?
There you go. Listen, here's another thing. Derek Brown is actually more respected, and not a lot is being said about him. Not as it should be. Most everybody wants to talk about Javon, and every time he does that live that Bleacher Report put out the other day about that 2,000-pound lift, he's getting, and all the spotlight is going toward one dude. Derek Brown's not getting all that. So I'm laughing because I'm thinking, that attention is going to take him high. The Jaguars are most likely going to take him. Make no mistake, a lot of us don't believe it, but the 49ers are going to do everything they can to replace DeForest Buckner, most likely. It's not going to be Kinlaw. Maybe Kinlaw, but I think they really would like to get Derek Brown. That depends on how much weight they put and what they've lost in DeForest. Ellis, here's the thing. Would the 49ers go buck wild all of a sudden and use those 2 first-round picks to go get Brown? Now, the thing is, you could take that 13 and maybe add a couple of them 5s and the 6 if you really want that guy Brown. Oh, do you see a bold, crazy move is the bottom line on this question by the 49ers with that 31st pick? Because I think they're going to keep the 13, but you whatever you're thinking on that.
I was thinking about this earlier, and we got rid of DeForest Buckner. So, being that we got a 13th overall in the first round, one could argue that we're going to replace D-Buck with that 13th pick because we're giving up that, that power player, and we need to replace him with a power player equally, if not the same as D-Buck. So maybe, like I said, one could argue that we may not need a receiver so much at 13, and we can look towards the later rounds. We have that 31st overall still, and we can trade that and get into, the next rounds and still be able to get somebody productive out of there, because like we've all said and seen, this draft is clearly saturated, overly saturated with great, receiver talent. So I don't know, man. And John Lynch is one of those kind of guys, John he'll fool everybody. Yeah, we're interviewing CeeDee Lamb, and we're talking about Henry, and we're all really invested in these guys at the receiver position. And then, bam, we get hit with that, that Derek Brown pick, at 13, and or if he's available, he might get snatched up. You never know, but I think that's a legitimate
possibility. At 12, you get 13, absolutely. 31, and just to sweeten that pot up. Throw a number 5 in there. I got a feeling, there's no telling how high you can go in this. Derek Brown is the real deal. Javon Kinlaw is the guy that's drawing all the attention, but it's Brown. I think the 49ers will he's not going to fall to 13. You got to go get him. So whatever you want here in this draft, and the 49ers are 12-31 with the team that we got, it's a Super Bowl team. Ellis,
right.
We don't need a lot of pieces. We can get, and the 49ers are so good at drafting the middle rounds, keep one of them 5s, that's 6s. We got 2, I think we got 2 7s. Wide receiver, 5th round. Are you feeling that?
Absolutely. I'm going to be honest, I think at the end of the day, we all are, we can agree to one common goal, that we just want what's best for the team, and we'll be able to see that executed after the draft once the season gets started, and once we get some snaps and get some on-field play, we'll be able to see how those things pan out. Whether or not we get exactly what it is that we're maybe harping on, which is maybe the receiver or potential or specified player, I'll say, at the end of the day, we want to be successful, and I don't think there's anything that any of us can say that we feel different about, so I just want us to get the best that we can out of these picks. I've been noticing and looking at some other stuff where, we could potentially trade our first round, 13th overall, and get an 18th in the first round and get a 70th and a 3rd if we swapped with the Dolphins. I seen something with the Cowboys, which I highly doubt that would ever happen, that we do business with the Cowboys, considering the bad blood there or whatever, and just the politics and what have you. But if we swap that 13th overall in the first round, we can move back a few spots to the 17th overall in the first round, get a 3rd round pick, 82nd, and then a 5th round pick at 179. I mean, you get those 3 picks, you still stay in the first round, you go back a few spots. It's not far-fetched. You know what I mean? There's some potential there. So, I think John Lynch is going to be creative in what he does, and he's going to get, like they say, the bang for his buck. You know what I mean? And we're going to get the most that we can out of these, these players and these draft picks. And then last but not least, I saw that the Colts, if we wanted to do business with them again, if we swapped our 31st, and we could get the 34th pick in the 2nd round, and also a 4th round pick, number 122. So, it just kind of depends on what happens. I think, like we have been, talking about in the show, if we get to that 8th to 10th, pick in the first round, we could potentially be swapping that 13 as quick as, possible. We'll be doing, emergency calls, hitting the bat signal, so to speak, and trying to hurry up and swap out and move around a little bit. You know what I mean? If we don't see what it is we could potentially be benefiting from, whether defensive end or from our receiver core that we've been kind of, engaged with.
And from the direction you're taking right there, what if it is a strong possibility, because Henry Ruggs, I understand, I'm watching everything that's being out there. It seems Ruggs is picking up popularity too. Ruggs could be gone way, and you just gave out the PFF stat. If you know about that stat, all the GMs know about it too. So
exactly.
So Ruggs is probably, in this draft, the most valuable entity. We see what happened in the Super Bowl. Tyreek Hill is the only reason why they beat the 49ers. If he doesn't make that play, the momentum is clearly swinging in the 49ers' play. Mosley bit and went the wrong direction. Hill got behind him. And Ward, I'm not sure where he was in that play. I have to go back and look at it again. But it was too late to react. Boom. With an arm like Mahomes, you don't get to make that mistake. Now, Hill's not in there. Mosley probably doesn't bite. He got confused with that speed. You know, we win.
Yeah.
It only takes one play to turn momentum like that, and that's what it was. It could be Ruggs that goes ahead of Judy and Lamb. Now, all those things you're talking about, they all come into play. Now the 49ers hustle to go in another direction, because I really sincerely believe it's Ruggs. It's been Ruggs the whole time. Just like last year with Bosa. I knew it was Bosa the whole time. And come to find out, they had made that deal in the combine to get Bosa last year. Ruggs is the guy this year. If he gets taken first, they go the opposite direction. Plan B goes into effect immediately.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I can't agree with you more. You know, it's one of those things, man. Like I said, it's calculated. You know, we're not going to just sit around on our hands and kind of just, you know, let whatever happen. We're going to do the best that we possibly can. And even if it's in a short window amount of time, you know, while the clock's running and we're in the middle of the draft, you know, we're going to make something, you know, happen out of that. And I'm excited to even see what happens in the later rounds. I'm going to be honest with you. Because even at number 18, it's looking like, you know, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault, and Denzel Mims could potentially be available still. So I'm just saying, you know, that's a nice you know, that's a nice number of quality receivers right there that we could, you know, be looking towards if for some reason we decide to go back a few spots, that is, you know what I mean, and swap the picks like I was talking about. So
and like you was talking about earlier too, there's just this draft is rich with wide receivers, and there is that kid that I saw one the other day run a 4.28 on social media. You may have saw that on Twitter as well. Nobody's even talking about him. I even forgot his name. I just saw him doing his pro day. I said, boy, that boy's getting up. How come ain't nobody talking about it? So, you know, he may have other issues. He may have catching the ball, things like that. He may have things. He maybe has route issues. And that seems to be, when you watch the last Super Bowl, Tyreek Hill's not a great route runner, but what he uses is his speed to beat you. So, you know, it may not be all about route running. Kyle does favor route running over everything. He meets George Kittle. He gets you tight end. He gets on George Kittle about his routes. So his wide receivers got to be up to standard. So, you know, later rounds, and you're right. As a matter of fact, Ellis, in the later rounds, are you seeing any potential gems?
Yeah, well, you know, it's looking like there's so many names. I mean,
because you mentioned some. Shows. You mentioned some other wide receivers and things, but I mean, anything that nobody's talking about.
Well, I haven't seen anybody. I haven't been able to delve into it too much just because there's been a lot going on. But I've been listening in our shows with, you know, with the other fellas and stuff like that. There's been a lot of other guys out there that have been having some potential. But, you know, Lynn Bowden out of Kentucky, like I said, we need a utility player, and I feel like that can just bring our level of dynamics up another couple of notches because of, you know, him being able to do punt return, kick returns, his ability to throw the ball, you know, and play quarterback, as well as his, you know, ability as a receiver. You know what I mean? He's a spectacular player. And I'm expecting to see him, hopefully, he'll probably go like in the 4th or 5th round, or it could, maybe not even as early as the 4th, but there's potential for him to be, you know, somebody that you could see coming out of there. But I guess we'll wait and see. I'm hoping that we end up getting him later on. If we end up swapping picks, maybe getting a 4th or 5th round and probably getting Lynn Bowden, because Kyle will have a field day with him. And I mean, if you think about if we get a dominant receiver in Henry Ruggs or any of those other 4 gentlemen that I was talking about, on top of having a Lynn Bowden with what already we got, I mean, our firepower is actually unlimited at that point.
Because that offense has got to catch up with that defense, at least some this year. And hey, but here's the thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Now the conversation is also swinging. The 49ers need offensive linemen. Our offensive linemen, the ones we got left, don't get a lot of respect. Staley is of course a stalwart. He's always going to be respected. Michael McGlinchey, he gets lots of love. He's not hated too much. But everybody else, and Tomlinson doesn't get enough credit as far as I'm concerned. I thought Lakin does a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
Weston Richburg, his only issue is he cannot stay on the field. This is why Cesar Ruiz, his name keeps coming up. Now you got Brunskill in there. Brunskill is one of the better pass protectors on the team. In fact, quiet as it is kept. Do you know that he was the #1 pass protector on this team when he was in the game? It's amazing, isn't it?
It's and we picked up Brunskill,
XF. He came out of the XFL. They went and saw him over there performing. I guess he's been underperforming down through the years, and they got him out of there, and he came in. His run blocking is not quite up to par, but you're not gonna. He got beat maybe once or twice on the at tackle during the course of the season. He was in there for Staley. Maybe I think once was it. Now that's protecting Jimmy. Oh, that's protecting him. See,
and then I think I recall one of the guys, one of the fellas calling in and saying, it may have been Dre, one of those, one of the, the members of TNT that said something about, I think he was like ranked 17th or something, and I don't know if it was pressures allowed or something out of all of the offensive line in the league, and the fact that he was in the conversation and ranked and that number, I mean that's got to speak, that speaks volumes, you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
you can't refute that, you know what I mean? So
and Ellis, the only reason why his number wasn't higher, he had to deal with Aaron Donald. If Donald's not in there, Brunskill may be one of the premier offensive linemen in the league. This is what happens when you're suppressed. He's in the XFL. He probably doesn't even know why he's there. I said, I can't get no love. Nobody wants me on the team. I'm gonna do a job here. 49ers seen him. They brought him in. The rest is history. I like Brunskill. I think he's gonna be fine. And if Person wasn't in the game and Brunskill was at guard, we may be talking about what the 49ers gonna do. Man, we didn't already hit the top of the pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad that Person's really failed. So,
yeah, it's a test to show and kind of give off what it is that we're here to do, even without having the top of the line offensive line that some of the other teams have had. We're able to make do with what it is that we have. And that really just sheds light on the staff, the offensive line coaches, and the coaching staff as a whole, that we're able to coach these guys up and allow them to be successful. So, and I'm looking to see the offensive line improve as well. Jimmy definitely needs some more time out there to be able to go through his progressions. When you can only do, 2 to barely 3 strep drop, and you got to let the ball go. It doesn't give you enough time. You think about Tom Brady, his 7-step drops, and he's back there. He's in a beach chair kicking his feet up. A lot of the, just in past years when he's had really good protection and other quarterbacks, it's like, damn, he's back there 10, 15 seconds. You know what I mean? And then he throws a bomb to Edelman or any of those receivers that are on there. Those no-name, guys that are getting this, this major, push, you know what I mean, and are being
because they got Brady as their quarterback, exactly. And, and like you're saying, if I got all day to let my receivers go out there and complete routes, if I'm Brady, especially anyone in premier quarterbacks, if they could, I get enough time, let them finish their route, lose a defender, we're not going to have a problem. And see, that's the thing. Jimmy got blamed for every last thing wrong with that offense. But Ellis, you played ball. There's more going on than just a quarterback going back there and making mistakes. Everything has to be in sync. That offensive line has to do its job. That wide receiver has to come in and out of his route. Kyle Shanahan's timing routes, they've got to come out of that route. Jimmy can't just throw that ball in the spots and nobody's there. And we've seen that happen a few times, and people blamed it all on Jimmy. I knew the receivers were screwing up, but you can't argue with people. They want to blame Jimmy. Rightfully so. It's like Kyle says. First you blame the coach. First you blame the quarterback, then you go get the coach. And see, that's a foolish thing, because it comes down from the top.
Yeah, being the general of the field, as they say, and I started quarterback, and I just remember, the blame is always on you. And when you're doing great, you get all the love. You know what I mean? So being a general of the field, as they say, is a tough position, but it takes the viewers and the others on the outside viewing it to understand that there's 11 players on the field and everybody has a position to play. If you run the wrong route, I've had that happen many times. Sometimes I'll have to pump fake the play because the guy's not even in a position, and I'll have to tuck and go or find another option. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And sometimes it's moving so quickly, it doesn't always get promised. So you might get that sack. It's on the way.
See, Ellis, you played the position, Ellis is quarterback, and he knows. Yes, everything is not. The quarterback has his job, but everybody has their job. If anybody fails, things are happening at this kind of speed. Okay, there's no time for mistakes. Kendrick, but Kendrick's not doing that no more. I ain't gonna mention his name now. Because Kendrick's my boy. Hey, Ellis, we're gonna wrap it up. Ellis, I'm gonna tell you what, man. Look for Ellis, because Ellis is part of the family. He calls in all the time. We're going to see here more from Ellis. Ellis, you know that it's time for that holler, though, Ellis.
All right, let's go.
Ellis has been warming up. Ellis, don't worry about impressing anybody. It's all about you. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. He's getting warmed up. Check him out, getting fluids. 3.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Niners!
Thanks, Ellis. Ellis is just, I've been talking to him, and it's just, he's always got lots of things to say. And I love it. Ellis, I'll see you on the program a little later on. Fam, I'll see you a little later on as well. So, hey, fam, please be careful. I do not want to hear about any of us, of the immediate family, to be feeling nothing to do with this COVID madness. Oh, I wish it would hurry but end. Okay, you know what to do. Do it, all right? Now, I'll see you in just a little bit. Hey, please, fam, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in a little while. Did I say hit like? Because you know how I love me some likes. You know I was going to tell you that. Count me down!
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Niners!